Hello and welcome to my 66th video from my vintage audiophile channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing a older, as you can see, stereo that came out in the mid-70s. It is a beast. It measures about 20 inches across, which is about 3 inches wider than your normal modern components. And you can see that by how much it overhangs on each side of the component on top of it, which is a more modern 90s CD player, a dead-end CD player. And this is a Toshiba SA-420. It is a beast in itself. It doesn't boast totally great specs as far as it's only 25 watts a channel into 4 ohms, and which is about 20 watts a channel into 8 ohms. But it's old school voltage readings, and that far surpasses what they call voltage readings these days as far as how many watts per channel something is. That number they give is usually a best case scenario, whereas this is a full-time, all the time spec. It is 0.4% total harmonic distortion, which as opposed to today's stuff doesn't sound great, but it has a sound all its own. And in my opinion, like almost all of the older 70s stuff, sounds much better than the newer stuff because it is all analog. It isn't digital. It has its little flaws here and there which give it that more warmer, richer, fuller, natural sound compared to some of the today's antiseptic digital sounds where you're just hearing ones and zeros and you're not getting any of the nuances that are in between those ones and zeros. As like I say, it is an SA-420. You can see there's a couple lights burnt out, which I'm going to have to replace one of these days. Light here is burnt out. I think there's a light over here that illuminates this part of it here that is burnt out, and the indicator for FM is burnt out, but all the other bulbs seem to be working and working fine. It is turned on. Right now I've got it in the auxiliary mode, which is the mode that I have the CD player hooked up to. So without further ado, I'm going to be playing that first as soon as I get done with my rest of my introduction. This knob over here is actually the power button. You turn it all the way to the left to turn the power off. Then you can differentiate between A speakers, A plus B speakers, or B speakers themselves. And then you've got your headphone jack, a rotary bass, treble, and balance. You've got a mono stereo mode button to turn your listening to either stereo or mono. It has a tape monitor 1 and 2. You can basically it's like a dubbing button to dub from one disc or one tape to another, because it does have 2 tape in and outs on the back. Over here is your function selector. Over to the far left you've got AM, FM stereo, phono, and auxiliary, and that's what it's on right now. You've got your FM muting, where you can defeat it if you push it in to off. But with it out, it's on, and that basically is so that you don't get any static or anything between tuning in channels like you would if you had it pushed in. It has a loudness button on it, and then a high and low button for filtering out high frequencies or low frequencies. And of course your volume button and a tuning button. Over here you have the signal strength of a station that you're turning into. a tuning indicator, where if it's in the dead center, that's most fully tuned in. You have an FM stereo button over here, a AM indicator, FM, phono, and like I say, auxiliary, which it's in right now. So it has all the bells and whistles that you could want on it for a good stereo. And I will turn on my CD player right now so that you can hear what it sounds like in CD mode. So here we go on that. Make sure my volume's not too high here. Oops, pushed the wrong button, sorry about that. This is the button I wanted to play. And this is with the loudness not turned on.
It's not the pale moon that excites.
And as you can see, it does play really nice sound. Like I say, I was playing that CD without any bass boost added to it with the standard speakers that I was using in my last video. If I put the loudest on, it would probably be booming too much and probably would rattle the speakers, and I don't want to do that, so I don't have that on right now. The tuner doesn't play as loud bass as the CD does, so I'll probably put the loudness on when I play the CD, or excuse me, play the tuner later on here, which I will do right now. Just get it in the right mode here.
Registered broker-dealer, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured, are not bank guaranteed, and may lose.
Single team now.
State.
And as you can see, it works fine. It does bring in a lot of stations. I don't have my antenna in the optimum position right now because I wanted to hide the antenna, so it's just laying in back, not positioned for anything optimum. And as you can see, that works fine. I didn't turn on the loudness button because it sounded like it was good enough bass to begin with. Now I'm going to flip this up a little bit more to show you that I am going to be playing a turntable now. It's the same turntable that I played in my last video demo, the Crosley. And right now I've got this hooked up so that it's using the phono stage of this particular record player or receiver, just to show you that it does work really nice with the phono stage, and that's in here. And of course, if I wanted to bypass the phono stage, I could just put it online on the back of the turntable and hook it up to the auxiliary, and it would be the same. But phono stage seems to have a little bit warmer sound to it, so that's what I have it hooked up to. And I will turn that on next to show you what that sounds like. And let me put it to phono here. Put on the bass boost now to show you what it sounds like with bass boost. Now I took the bass boost off. Now you can see the difference. Although these are real small bookshelf speakers, so it'd probably sound even better if I had them hooked up to a full floor system. And as you can see, it works just fine with the phono too. Like I said, you got phono right there. When you turn to FM, that doesn't light up, so that bulb is burnt out, and then the AM works. But all in all, it's a great receiver. Toshiba's, while they are really good, a lot of people have never really heard them. They didn't sell that great back when they came out because there was so much other competition out there, mainly Marantz, Pioneer, and Sansui. But people who do own Toshiba say it's one of their favorite old time receivers, and just because it isn't a brand name like the other ones I mentioned doesn't mean it's not good. These are definitely sleepers. You can pick them up for well under $100 if you play your cards right, and you won't regret your decision. They're a really good starter receiver for somebody who's looking for something more old time. They did make lots of other models too. The biggest one they made was the 1150, which I also have somewhere around, and that boasts like a 120 watts or something like that, and that's a beast. It's even bigger than this one, width-wise and height-wise and everything, and it's real futuristic looking, but it's a really great machine, and I'll never get rid of it. As I probably won't get rid of this one either, because there's nothing wrong with it. It's really good for your everyday listening, and versatile enough to hook up just about anything to it. You could even hook your iPhone up to it if you have the right connectors. All you really would need would be something that would have lightning cable on one end if you have Apple, and a pair of RCA jacks on the other end. Hook it up to your auxiliary, and you could play your Pandora or whatever the heck you want to do with it through there, and it would sound really good. So that is my demonstration of the very much underrated and very much highly collectible, as far as I'm concerned, Toshiba SA-400. So if you're looking for something that's well within most people's budgets and is vintage and don't have to pay a lot for it, this would be a really good place to start. Any of the Toshiba stuff from the 70s and early 80s is really good. Later on they did like everybody else and started cheaping out on stuff, but the 70s and early 80s stuff is right up there with anything else that you can think of that's high end. So if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, or please leave any comments or questions that you may have regarding this or any other of my videos that you might happen to watch. I do answer all my inquiries, and comments. And until next time, stay safe and look forward to a bigger, better, brighter new year. Thank you very much. Goodbye.